book besties, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kyan and this is Kyan is Booked, and today on this very rainy Sunday evening at the very end of my Thanksgiving break, I am here to introduce the next reading vlog in my adventure to read all of Rina Kent's Backlist in publication order. I think I've mentioned it, but I'll go ahead and just give like the introduction again. I really want to read God of Malice, God of Pain, like the God of series, but they're these second generation series to, from my understanding, the royal elite couples. So my friend Meredith Mayer, she's read all of Rina Kent's Backlist and she read it all in publication order. And she said once she got to like the Gods of book, it was such an enhanced reading experience because she had the entire backstory. So I too am going on this adventure. I have it up on my computer right here. I am on the Kingdom Duet, which is Jonathan King's portion of all of this. And as we know, he's Aiden's dad. And Aiden is our hero from the first 3 books of the Royal Elite series. The Deviant King, Steel Princess, and Twisted Kingdom, and his leading lady is Elsa. So, if you want more information on them, I will link the Royal Elite Reading Vlog video that has gone live for you, and you can get all of my thoughts, including spoilers. I decided that I was just gonna go ahead and make all of this like spoiler vlogs. So it's like very much like a watch at your own risk. And I don't even really know how many spoilers I'm going to be going into, but I don't want to sit here and like talk about things that happen or like really crazy moments and like not be able to just like say what I want to say. So yeah, so if you want my unfiltered thoughts on this, go and watch that vlog. So Aiden's dad, Jonathan, he's the next one up in publication order that I'll be reading. And I don't know who his leading lady is because when you read the blurb, which I can read the blurb here in a second for you, I don't know her name, literally. I am reading, I think it's Rule of a Kingdom right now. Yeah, Rule of a Kingdom, and it's like the 0.5, so it's like a little novella that leads into Reign of a King. Which is, I don't know why I put this so far away from me. Whatever. So it says, nothing is fair in war. Jonathan King is every bit his last name. Powerful, untouchable, corrupted. He's also my dead sister's husband and way older than me. My dead sister's husband. Oh my gosh. Okay. When I first met him as a clueless child, I thought he was a god. Now I have to confront the god to protect my business from his ruthless grip. Little did I know that declaring a war on the king will cost me everything. When Jonathan covets something, he doesn't only win, he conquers. Now he has his sights set on me. He wants to consume not only my body, but also my heart and my soul. I fight, but there's no escaping the king and his kingdom. Okay, so some backstory. Jonathan's first wife and Aiden's mom dies in a car accident. Was Aiden like 10, I want to say? He had just been kidnapped, and so she was going out and she was looking for him, and a tragic accident happens and she ends up dying in the accident. So that really affected like Jonathan at his core, which I think is like really leads into him as a character of like being just like so cruel and just like not caring about the world around him, because you know in his eyes like arguably that was the love of his life and he lost her. So it's the dead wife's sister that apparently is the heroine. And I don't remember any mention of her in this series. Now I could have like just not paid attention, or could have just like not clocked her name. But that's crazy. Okay. So I will check in. I'm gonna finish reading the little novella, and then I'm probably going to start this tonight. But it's like not too long. It looks like it's like 200 and something pages. So maybe, and I hate the fact that it's a duet because it'll leave me on a cliffhanger. Whatever. So, yeah, I'll catch you in the next clip. Okay. Okay. Bye. So I bet you weren't expecting to see me again, same day. Well, I wasn't expecting, okay. So I finished Rule of a Kingdom, so I'll put it right here. It's like literally, I want to say it was like 80 something pages, right? So it gives you like a little bit of backstory between Alicia and Jonathan. And Alicia is his first wife and Aiden's mom. So we get a little bit of backstory. She really struggled with her mental health. She was medicated. What she was medicated for, I don't know. Like, obviously there's some depression in there somewhere. But past that, I wasn't really sure what she was medicated for. I'm kind of hoping that we'll figure that out in the duet. So this scene right here, well, the opening, I'm going to show it to you. So Reign of the King, this is the cover. I'll also put it up right here because I really like the covers on the People cover. So let's fire this bad boy up. I'm 28% into this book and I can feel myself. I don't even know what time it is right now. That's a lie. Hang on. It's 9:51. I do have to go back to work tomorrow, so my alarm will go off at 5:30, but I digress. So I'm 28% into this. And at this point in time, Jonathan has seen Aurora at Aiden and Elsa's wedding. So she hooks up with the CEO of Ethan's company, who is Elsa's dad. And he invites her to the wedding. So she goes, like, she makes an introduction to Ethan because her company's in turmoil because their accountant, like, screwed them over and embezzled a bunch of money, and now they're declaring bankruptcy, right? So she's like, okay, cool. Like, I'll just meet up with Ethan. Like, he's an investor. Like, I'll get an investment and I'll save the company. So Ethan's all about it. But then Jonathan's like, okay, who is this woman who looks exactly like my dead wife except for the eyes? And it takes him a little bit to put the pieces together, especially when she introduces herself as Aurora, but like her name's Clarissa. However, based off what I've been able to piece together, her dad is a serial killer and he goes to prison. So she changed her name and she changed it to Aurora Harper, and Alicia actually helped her do it before she died. So he then buys her company after telling her that she's not allowed to ask Ethan for help. He then buys her company and is like, well, I'll take payment and I'll take you as my payment. And she's like, what? No, I'd rather pay you 10 times what my company is worth than sell you my body. And this man's like, no, see, that's not what I asked. And that's not what I said. And I'm the king of this kingdom and you're going to do what I want you to do, right? Y'all, I'm only 28% into this book and I don't even know how many highlights I have at this point. I have so many of them. Yeah. And then my favorite was her response. I'm looking at the highlight now. Her response to like him buying the company or whatever. And he's like, I want you. And she's like, is that supposed to make me feel flattered or something? He's like, it's not my purpose, but if you are, by all means. This guy's such a jerk. Like, he doesn't care about anybody. He's just like, I mean, I wasn't trying to flatter you. And then she's like, okay, well, like, I'll hit him where it hurts. And she's like, you're my sister's husband. We can't possibly do this. And his response is, I get to decide that. And I say we will. So now we've gotten to the point where he's told her, hey, you have to show up at my house tonight. Like, you have to move in with me. It happens tonight. Or like, I'm going to sell your company tomorrow. Right? Because like, he doesn't actually care. Because he owns, here's the big thing. And here's the thing that she wasn't prepared for. He bought the stocks out from the third investor in all of this. Because you have Aurora and Layla, they're partners. They own the majority. They sold some of the shares to the bank so that they didn't have to like 100% declare bankruptcy. And then there was another investor. So being the actual like jerk that he is, he went to the other investor, got all of his percentage from him, went to the bank, got the bank's percentage. So then now he is 51% invested. And obviously like that gives him the majority, which is why he's able to make all the claims he's making right now. And, you know, she's going through a lot of emotions right now because she's just like, I don't understand how I got myself in this situation. I don't know how, like, I allowed him to back me into this corner. Like, where did I go wrong? So she's, like, really beating herself up for this because, like, obviously, like, her entire company's in turmoil now. And so now we're at the scene where, like, he sent a driver to come pick her up, and she sent the driver back and was like, nah, bro. And so she's now shown up, and now I guess we're gonna see what it's like for them to be living together. I'm not sure. There was just so much that happened in these first couple of chapters, especially when it came to, like, him getting the control over the company, that I didn't want to keep reading and then have to explain it all later, because I really feel like all of this is going to be layered together. Her dad, Maxim Griffin, hopefully I'm saying that correctly and hopefully it's the right name. He's up, there's rumors that he might be up for parole because they're going to do, like, an insanity defense, which I think is weird that they didn't do the insanity defense the first time around. But also, too, like, I don't know too much about the crime because, like I said, like, they've hinted to the fact that he may or may not be a serial killer. I know that, like, there were vacant eyes and duct tape, and, like, that's all I know at this point. My feelings overall is, like, I'm very intrigued because it's, like, very fast paced. I was always curious about Jonathan when I read Cruel King, which was, oh my God, Levi's story. I was like, oh my gosh, his name's escaping me. Levi's story. And then obviously when I read, like, Aiden's trilogy. And plus, too, like, Jonathan pops up because, like, all of the kids are friends and, like, all the parents of the kids are friends. So it was just, like, really interesting to me, like, his dynamic because, you know, Alicia, she struggled with so much, like, and, like, after reading the little novella in the beginning, like, I can tell that he cared for her. And I can tell that, like, he wanted to do what he could for her. But I think that he was just overwhelmed by all of it because she was just so unwell. And, like, he even says in the novella, he's like, she should be taking medicine, but, like, I don't want to force her to do it. And then she's talking like, oh, well, like, I don't feel anything when I'm on the meds. She's like, but sometimes maybe it's better to not feel anything to feel all of this. So she really, like, and like Aurora blames him for Alicia's death. But I have a really bad feeling that we're about to find out that she didn't die of an accident, because as of right now, she went off, like, a cliff in, like, a really horrific car accident, and that's how she died. But I kind of have a bad feeling in all of this that, like, that it's gonna be a little bit more than that, like, just a teeny bit more. Yeah, so that's the update. Stay tuned. This is so good. I gave so much crap to Mary when she, like, binged Rina's Backlist, but they're very bingeable because, I mean, I'm ready to just throw sleep away and, what do you call it? And just keep reading. Obviously, my dog's not ready to throw sleep away. Belle. All right, so we'll check in later. Hey, so it's Monday, the 27th. I'm looking a little rough. I'm looking a little worse for the wear. I got like 2 hours of sleep last night. I don't know what happened. I got into bed, like, after I updated you guys, I got into bed and I read a little bit more. But my anxiety just, like, wouldn't let me sleep. Like, I was just so anxious for, like, whatever reason. I can't even tell you what reason that is, because, like, I was anxious to go back to work. Like, I'm not saying I could teach in my sleep, but, like, working with the kids and, like, learning and teaching and, like, being that like, what? So, yeah. Anyways, so I'm struggling today. I really wasn't even gonna film, but for whatever reason, my body is on, like, its 7th wind today. So, like, I'm not actually tired yet. So I'm 92% into Reign of a King. Jonathan, oh my goodness. So there's so much that's happened, and I almost don't even remember the last clip that I did, but I'm gonna try and like shove it all into like a couple of minutes. So Aiden, who's Jonathan's son and Aurora's nephew, hates her because he thinks that she's like, I don't want to say she's a traitor, but like she wasn't around after his mom died. And he's like, you never even cared about her. And she's like, no, bro, like I was turning my father in for murder. So like, sorry, I couldn't come to her funeral. I would have wished to be there. And then I was in witness protection. And then I wasn't actually being protected. Yeah. And so like they all sit there at the family dinner and Aiden's just like, yeah, you have an answer for everything. He's such a little shit. But it's Levi and Astrid, and then Aiden and Elsa and Jonathan and Aurora. So it's like really the first time that she's interacted with the boys. And it doesn't help that when she walks in, Levi is like, damn, she does look like her. It's like, read the room, man. Come on. So now we're like, like I said, I'm 92% in. What's happened? So Alicia, someone's sending her like on thumb drives, I guess this like recording that Alicia made for her before she died, where she thought that she was being like stalked and she was actually, someone was gonna kill her. And it like, now it has, or thinking, oh my God, was it actually an accident? Like, was the car accident an accident, or is that covering something else up, right? So now she's like living with Jonathan, like she's going into her sister's old bedroom because they never slept together. They never shared a bed. It's just a little tidbit that she picks up along the way. She's like, weird, but okay. So I just, there's like so many different parts here. And like, normally I'm really good at like kind of seeing where the cliffhanger is coming from. But like I said, like I've got 9 minutes left in the book and I'm not really sure where we're going to hang off this cliff yet. But I do find it like super interesting that there's such a big question mark around her sister's death. And then the fact that like, before this, if you would have asked me if Jonathan loved Alicia, I would have said yes, because like, I think he did love her in the only way that like he knew how to love her. Because he doesn't have it all together. Like, God love him, he tries. He doesn't have it all together. And I think he's doing the best he can, especially since like he was thrust into single fatherhood, like on a dime. And we know that like his emotions, he keeps very close to the vest anyways. So like he kind of struggles with that like emotional relationship with Aiden. So we know all of this, right? And like, I don't think he didn't love her. I just think he wasn't necessarily ready or really understood. And I don't think she understood either, like the mental health struggle that she had. So I think like, once it all happened, like, did he miss her? Yeah. Did he love her? Absolutely. But I think there maybe was like a sense of relief on his part, not in a bad way, but like just a sense of relief that like, oh, she's finally free from like the burden, right? And he says it over and over and over again, but he's like, Aurora's nothing like Alicia. Aurora's nothing like Alicia. Like the sisters couldn't be like further apart. Like they look exactly like each other, but couldn't be further from like the same. So like he sees that delineation like super early on, where other people are like, oh, you're only with her because she looks exactly like Alicia, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, actually no, because Alicia never would have argued with me, and this woman goes toe to toe with me. And I think that's what he finds so attractive about her. But we're 92% in, ladies and gentlemen, and they just got done with their date. And and he's like, so like, what do you want or whatever? And she's like, kiss me. They've never kissed. And this man is laying the kisses of all kisses on her right now. So I'm gonna, what do you call it, stop it real quick, and then I want to get like closer to the last chapter or whatever. I'll come back so I can freak out over the cliffhanger that I'm assuming is coming. So stand by. Okay, so I'm 96% on page 255, and if I am sleuthing this out correctly, her dad's currently giving an interview on like a major like broadcast or whatever. And he's saying, I chose to be silent, thinking I was protecting my daughter, but now I realize she needs to be brought to justice too. Sir, she didn't kill anybody. Like, she's not the UK's most notorious serial killer. Like, she hasn't been in prison for 11 years, sir. And you're just mad she won't revoke her testimony to get you out of jail. Anyway, let's keep reading. So I think he's about to like, okay, so there was this like charity event that her and Jonathan went to help support her business partner and her best friend. And one of the girls who was orphaned is a victim. Her mom is a victim of Aurora's dad's. She was known as Clarissa when she like obviously gave the testimony that put him away, right? So then Sarah has been stalking her apparently, and she's screaming like, "Give me back my mother." This is so crazy. Now she's calling her a murderer. She like, so the Sarah girl literally like, "I hope you die like mom did." Okay, she was 16 years old when she turned him in. It's the same day her sister was killed in a car accident. I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything like that, but like she wasn't an accomplice. Like she didn't know, and as soon as she found out, like she went to the police. I get it, you lost your mom, but like it's also not Aurora's fault or Clarissa. So her cheeks and palms, and even her neck stings. Her lip won't quit bleeding. So she's trying to call Jonathan. His phone is off. Oh my gosh. And then Claire's message to, no, Alicia's message to her sister Aurora literally says like, "I think Jonathan wants me dead." So she just tried to call John. And she's like, "Remember when I told you to only call him in emergencies? Don't ever run, baby sister, run from all of them." And then now she's like, "Wait, did Jonathan try?" Okay, so she's on the run again. I do like this quote from her like crazy dad or whatever. "You're born alone, you die alone. Why do you keep leaning on other people?" Anyway. Okay. Not necessarily how I saw like ending. I didn't think that, so I knew her dad was a serial killer, obviously, and I think I talked about it in my previous clip, but I had like some guess that like whatever happened, it wasn't good, right? I'm trying to find the blurb for this. But like, I guess I didn't see the cliffhanger and like the plot twist in Jonathan and Aurora's relationship being her dad, the serial killer, who's locked away for life in prison. Anyway, okay, so the next book is Rise of a Queen, and it is 296 pages. So the blurb is, "Nothing is fair in love. This is my kingdom, my territory. I own everything and control everyone, Aurora included. She shouldn't have barged into my world with no armor. She shouldn't have caught my attention with no warning. Alas, she did. Then she thought she could disappear. If a battle is what it'll take to protect and own her, I'll shed blood. Wars aren't fair, and neither am I." Yeah, so we'll be downloading this immediately. I probably won't update again today. I'm tired. I don't even know how far I'll get into it. But I will say, like, despite being exhausted, my straight hair really gave what it needed to give today. Because who knows, it might be in a pony tomorrow. Anyway, crazy plot twist there at the end. I kind of like it though, and I'm interested to see where Rina takes it. So look forward to Rise of a Queen update here soonish. Yeah, soonish. Hi, yes, hello. I finished Rise of a Queen. So I so in the first part of the vlog, obviously like I stopped and we kind of chatted about the cliffhanger, but I don't want to like obviously there's a happily ever after, but I don't want to give away what happens in like the second half. And how they eventually end up together, right? Because I mean, come on now, that would be what would be the point in reading at that point? So I'm gonna talk about like overarching things that I really liked about the ending to this one. Belle's right here. Like that's why you see something moving, because she just like she has allergies and like she has like a hot spot on her paw, and she apparently just can't leave it alone long enough for me to vlog this. But you know, real life content for the people out there. Anyway, a couple things that I really liked about Rise of Queen and these characters. So I absolutely loved this side of Jonathan. And I don't want to go too far into it because Jonathan's always been kind of a wild card for me. Actually, like Aiden and Jonathan have been a wild card for me. Like I really liked Levi, but like Levi's like very like cavalier attitude about like everything. Like what's not to love? Like he never took himself very seriously. We know he's like in love with Astrid, obviously. But like past that it was, you know, like yeah, he's kind of a jerk, but I really feel like he lets go of his jerk persona just a little bit more in his book, like quicker than Aiden does for Elsa. But also too, like Aiden has 3 books and Levi has 1. So I feel like you kind of have to hold on to that anger and hold on to all of that if you have more than 1 book. So that to be said, we've always known that there's been like quite a relationship between Aiden and then his dad, Jonathan. And there's always been the speculation that it was because of the death of his mother, Alicia. And I think that like, I think it really just is like there was so much about Alicia's death that a lot of people didn't understand and that we didn't quite know about. And a lot of that comes to light in this book, which is why I really, really liked this book, because we got some of those answers that I've been like really wanting. And because, yeah, like we get it. Like Jonathan he's not like the Rainbows and Sunshine's dad, and he's like very stern and, you know, he's a lot of those things, but like the people he cares for, like he really cares for. And I feel like we understand why Jonathan is the way that he is when we get the answers about Alicia's death, right? And I really liked Aiden and even Levi's like evolving relationship with Jonathan, especially with the way that like Aurora brings out just like a better version of Jonathan. Just like any one of us, like when we get a partner, or I guess ideally an ideal partner for us, is going to be that person who like brings out the best in us. And I really feel like Aurora does an amazing job of doing that for Jonathan. I also want to discuss like how much like I just appreciated Jonathan in this book, because, and I don't want to say it's because we saw more of his point of view, because I don't think that was going to be something that swayed me. I appreciated him because he knew exactly who Aurora was, even in those moments where she didn't know, and even in those moments that she was like terrified of something that kind of felt like an eventuality to her. And just like how supportive he was, and how like he said like it doesn't matter, like I'm not leaving. And he understands her to the core of like she knows there's a problem, and her immediate answer is to run, because exactly what she did 11 years prior when everything blew up about her dad. And then it's exactly what she did obviously at the end of Reign of the King. So I just like, I really like this duet did such a great job of making me really, really like Jonathan, and then in turn really, really like the King boys as well, because you'll hear my opinions of them in their vlog, and I want to be very clear, like I loved their stories. Love is like a strong word. Like I loved Levi. I liked Aiden, right? But I think what's so great about reading them in publication order is that like those secrets start, those dominoes start to fall, and those characters that you didn't maybe completely understand in their portion or like in their happily ever after, oh my gosh, in their happily ever after, you really start to understand in the later parts of her backlist. So I really liked that. I have, it doesn't tell me how many highlights I have. I guess I should have gotten a Goodreads for that before we got started. But like, I really felt like I was, what do you call it? I really just felt like I was like highlighting everything because like Jonathan never promised to be perfect and like never promised to be somebody that he wasn't. But I think that that's why you appreciate the things that he says more. So I just think like, you know, he's really into chess. Aiden, Levi, they're all really into playing chess. And it's really funny because like there's a quote that one of my favorite quotes was, Aurora barged into my life, wreaked havoc in my order, and disrupted my chessboard. If anything, I'm keeping her, all of her. And I was just like, oh, like what a perfect, like she interrupted my chessboard because, you know, like to him, everything has always been like this game of chess. And I thought the ending and how kind of everything that came together was very interesting. I'm not going to lie to you. I did not figure out who was pulling the puppet strings in this one. And I thought it was like a very well hidden secret, or maybe I just like refused to pick up on the clues because I was just so obsessed with Jonathan and Aurora's relationship. And oh gosh, I really want to do like a really hardcore spoiler here, but like I don't want to at the same time. Okay, I'm not gonna do it. Ugh, she's not gonna do it. But the people, like when I say things are revealed about Alicia's death, like things are revealed about her death. And it is just so fascinating how when you hear what happens and like obviously the evolution that we know of her like mental health struggle, like when you hear about what's happening, just like how sad you feel for her because like she never stood a chance against like the bigger picture and like the bigger fight. But you know, Jonathan is very well aware of it and is like, you know, I hate when he calls her like soft, but like that would be the best description of her, is that she's not necessarily like strong in the ways that Aurora is strong. And I think too that is something that like we see a little bit more in this one. Her and Aiden also have like a really nice conversation. I wouldn't say nice because, you know, Aiden's Aiden. But I think it's very interesting too at one point where like he makes the comparison between her and Alicia, and like she hates that comparison because like she already feels bad enough that like she's essentially in love with her sister's husband. Well, like she's dead, but still it's not the point. She's in love with him and she already feels bad about that. And then like Aiden's just like, yeah, he never looked at my mom like that. And which is another like contention point between them because obviously this is before like kind of everything blows up. But no, like I thought it was a really, really solid duet. And I like how it wasn't too long and it wasn't too short. I feel like it was just like the right amount. And I really, really, I'm going to say it again, I really liked the fact that like in this portion right here, like I'm leaving this and I really like Jonathan and I have a new kind of soft spot for Aiden, and like their relationship seems to be evolving and becoming better because of what we learned in this duet. So I gave, I'm giving Reign of a King, yeah, that's it. Giving Reign of a King a 4 because I wanted everything that I got in Rise of a Queen, which I'm going to give 5 because, you know, like I wanted the payoff and I got the payoff. So, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying the vlog series so far. I'm really, really enjoying reading Rina Kent's backlist in order because, like I said, I'm like able to pick up on so many different things. Yeah, so next up is Hang on, I have it downloaded already. What is next? All the Lies. So this is like kind of a new adult one. I don't know much about it. Obviously, I'm going to find out more about it because I'm going to introduce the next vlog here in just a second. Like, I'm literally going to click off of this one and then start the next one. So, thank you so much for watching. As always, what is your Rina Kent status? Like, have you read her? Have you not read her? Love some, hated some? Like, I'd love for you to let me know in the comments. Or if there's a series that you're really excited for me to get to, drop that down below as well. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you do all those fun YouTubey things, like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I will catch you in the next video. Bye.